Hello and welcome.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Chris.
How are you on this fine Wednesday afternoon, evening?
Look, I'm all right, thanks, mate. How are you? I can tell you about another pump, mate. We got no scripted introduction from your children. You were late to your own show. Like, what's going on?
I'm going on a holiday, so work.
Oh, that must be
I've got a
nice.
million things to do. But one of those things is not worry about my fantasy team because it was fire this week.
Well, you'll be pleased to know I've set aside absolutely no time in this show to talk about your team because no one wants to hear about it.
Well, that's fine. You know, we'll have plenty more episodes to talk about it moving forward as we turn this corner.
Yeah,
into
well,
the
look, I mean,
season.
if you genuinely sustain this momentum, I look forward to further coverage. But at the moment, it's looking like a bit of an anomaly. But we'll see.
The one thing I have going for me, touch wood, is that I have not been affected by the plethora of injuries that have affected presumably every other team. And so I don't know if my team needs to get better. It just needs to sail past all the train wrecks that keep occurring.
You might be Stephen Bradbury your way to success this year.
I'd be very happy with that. I don't care. Medal's a medal.
All right, let's kick into it, mate.
What's the first one? Sleeper app, you're an utter piece of trash. Every single week, you boldly predict my victory, and every single week I am crushed. I make no transactions on account of my faith, yet my faith is misplaced. Fuck you, Sleeper. Fuck you, Stamos. Stew, beachside, probably.
You know, Sleeper's done it again. It's got him up for nearly 130 points this week. On what basis? Still thinks A-Chan's going to put up a 20 banger.
It's completely ridiculous.
Mind you, against Carolina, this might be the week that he does it. Right?
Possibly, but also Stu has made no ad drops whatsoever, no waivers.
You think the reason is that Sleeper keeps predicting him for massive scores? Do you think that's the reason?
Look, he's not a vivacious ad dropper from prior seasons. He likes to stick with the team he drafted. But at 1 and 7, he probably should be thinking about some moves. Like, if I was him and I had $200 of fab, I would have dropped $200 on Woody Marks, or he already owned.
Woody Marks got picked up last week.
That was a smart move. Remember did that. I would have spent some fab. Anyway, I would have spent some fab. This was a good week to spend some fab. He should have spent something.
Well, we'll come to it later. Not a lot got spent in reality, but I think a big part of that was because you didn't have any to spend.
That's right. I'm happy with what I got. I'm happy with what I got for free.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you were happy with Ramondre Stevenson and his 3 points that he got.
Look, he was well placed until he fumbled the ball twice after coming onto my team, and he seems to have not had trouble getting the job back after that, which is fair enough.
Got some similar issues with Derrick Henry over here, unfortunately.
I see you've decided to hedge your bets on that one for our matchup this week.
Yeah, we can come to that later. Look, Stu's like, he's a very conservative guy by nature, and you're right. He drafts his team, and that's kind of it. You won't get a lot of trades. You won't really get any transactions. And I think he takes it as a point of personal pride that he sticks with his guys. Yeah. Not sure that's going to work for fantasy. Yes. Okay. Moving on. So I quite often sort of use this segment as just a glorified soapbox, just to have a rant about something. But I thought this week I'd put up an issue that is genuinely divisive in NFL fandom. And we'll kind of litigate the issue and see where we stand on it. It was brought into sharp focus again this week with a number of sort of fairly high-profile, iconic plays, and of course it's the tush push, right? So top photo there was the Eagles lining up to push it over the goal line And then, of course, infamously, just once the defense committed all 11 dudes to piling into the melee, they just flipped it out to Saquon, who ran it in for the touchdown with a mile of space, right? And this is what you get with the Eagles, is not only are they unstoppable in short yardage, but if they decide to troll you, they can just take a free short yardage touchdown on a play like this anytime they feel like it. And then, of course, you have the one underneath, which is a pretty iconic one that's done the rounds, with the Steelers proving that you don't even need 11 guys to run this play. You can just put a big fat tight end in there, and Aaron Rodgers is just going to stand back and celebrate while his guys pick up the whatever 2 yards they needed for the first down. So yeah, interested to hear your thoughts. Obviously, my team, the Green Bay Packers, famously tried unsuccessfully to ban the tush push play coming into this season. So it remains a part of the landscape. What are your thoughts? Is it bad for the game? A lot of people seem to think so.
I think it's fine. I think the only people that are annoyed by it are like fantasy players that don't have the quarterbacks to getting the benefit of the tush push. Like I was when I had James Cook 2 years ago, and Josh Allen's getting pushed over the way. I like, it's a legitimate play. It's a good play. Like, what's the problem with it? Like,
people
draft guys who can do it.
A lot of people characterize it as more of a rugby play than an NFL play.
Sure, but why make it illegal? It's a perfectly legal play.
I do feel like we're one high-profile injury away from it being outlawed. Right, at a certain point, some offensive lineman's going to get his neck broken doing it, and that'll be the end of it.
No one cares about offensive linesmen. People barely know their names.
maybe Jalen Hurts getting his neck broken will be the thing that does it.
Yes, I agree. Linemen don't. What are you talking about?
Fat guys in America, just a dime a dozen, just bring another one in.
Exactly. Next man up. And Tex has a view. Tex here live.
This is an uncommon occurrence to have fellow Tex live for the show, but I do wonder this play, the fake flip out one. He's right. This type of thing is doesn't make for great viewing, right? But if you've got Saquon in fantasy, obviously you're loving it because you would have written off any chance of getting points out of the drive when it gets to third and 2 on the goal line for Philadelphia. You basically you can just chalk up a touchdown for Jalen Hurts most of the time. Anyway, so we haven't really resolved that issue, but we're also not quite ready to throw the tush push out. So it's a hung jury. All right, let's do this week's winner and loser.
All right.
All right, we had to do it.
Is that an actual picture of Jared?
Which one?
The one on the left.
Yes, it is. Yes, you can. And this is actually one of the tamer ones that you can get on his Instagram.
Or his OnlyFans?
No, well, no shaft visible in this photo. Although I have a feeling that over the next few weeks, everybody in this league is going to start to get a pretty good feel for the girth of his shaft as he continues to ram it down our collective throats with performances like this one. Only
he's looking good. Like
only 4-4, but his team got off to a bit of a bad start. But they have absolutely.
I'm talking about that picture.
All right. Do you want a moment? Do you want a moment alone with the picture?
Yeah, I do. Still greased up and everything. Wow. Anyway, let's continue.
Greased up.
Yes. Greased me up.
He's a beautiful man. The team is 4-4. They didn't start great, but he's really hit his straps, and he's absolutely blundered his way into some brilliant spots here. Obviously, Amari and Hampton taking over the undisputed starting role in what's looking like a really, really strong offense in the Chargers. You got Scatterboo also benefiting from there being no other running backs in New York, and the team and the offense itself looking pretty revitalized. Now they've finally benched the shambling corpse of Russell Wilson and brought in Jackson Punch and Darts. Yeah, so you got Ashton Gianti. He took a few weeks to warm up to the pace of the NFL, but he's now looking like prime Marshawn Lynch out there. Dak Prescott obviously having a good time in a massive, high-scoring Sunday night game. This team's got it going on, man. I think we should be a little bit concerned. What do you reckon?
I think this is just like a fundamentally well-drafted team. If you put in fantasy principles, and I don't know if Jared's starting to pay more attention to these principles, but Mahomes and Prescott are safe picks, safe quarterbacks. You're not going for some rookie quarterback who's going to fall apart and get replaced by Carson Wentz, right? You've got guys that they're not going to lose their job, and if they don't get injured, they will be solid. He's gone for the upside on the young rookie running backs. He's got 3 of them, and now they're all delivering. Obviously, for two weeks on Genti or the 3 weeks prior to this on Genti were a bit concerning, but you're not going to be worried now that he's put that up. And Hampton was a problem until Harris got injured, but as soon as he got injured, that's lock it in. Look, he's probably gotten pretty lucky on Pittman. Like there wasn't a lot of faith in Pittman with Danny Dimes, but he's looking really good. He's revitalized his career. And then looks like Ferguson's been strong throughout the season, maybe going to benefit as well from the Lamb injury. Sure. Aubrey's amazing, as we've discussed on the show before.
This was a shockingly low score for Aubrey. He's normally up around 20 points.
And the only weakness and he's got the Denver Broncos. No, you got the Denver Broncos. The only weakness would appear to be his wide receiver 2 with Myers. And I don't know if he's got something to support that, but you can like one weakness, you can plug that gap. This is a very strong team. This could be the year we go to the Gold Coast, except we're not going to go to the Gold Coast. We're going to draft in Melbourne. So sorry, guys.
Indeed. All right. At the other end of the spectrum, there's a few teams in the league that are even 4 weeks in looking like they're absolutely on life support. And this might be one of them. It might be all over for the Quaddy in 2025. He's gotten absolutely reamed. There was a bit of discussion about it just in the last few days in just how badly he's missed on wide receivers. He did his usual trick of waiting on late round quarterbacks, and for once he's actually getting what he deserves with the guys that he drafted. And really the only strength of his team is a couple of very good running backs, as to be said, who he definitely won't trade in order to strengthen his team, because if you want to trade with him, you have to pay the quad father tax, and I doubt anyone's going to be willing to do that. So I imagine he's just going to go down with these guys, and a supporting cast that has a month in just seems to be completely failing him. What are your thoughts on the quad fathers team?
I think that it's exactly what you've said. Flowers is not going to be good with Lamar out, so that's another couple of bad games coming his way. I think Kamara's finally passed it. Neighbours obviously getting injured is brutal. Thomas has been average. That was a first minute in a way, and last minute of the draft trade, first minute of the season for Bowers, who hasn't been particularly great either. Kelsey, because he felt comfortable with Kelsey, but Kelsey's so sort of hit and miss and quiet, as I think they just try and nurse him through the season before his wedding at the Super Bowl, as we'll look at. And I must say, I offered a trade to Kurt. Look, it wasn't necessarily offered because I put it to him. This was a couple of weeks ago when I was, in a lot of trouble before this week. I put a trade to him trying to correct my team, and I said, "Would you do this trade? I'm not offering this trade, but is this something you'd be interested in? We could maybe see if we could do it." And I wanted to see how much fab I could blow and what I could get with my blown flab that week that stopped me from actually proceeding. But I was going to offer him Bijan for Javonte Williams and Danny Dimes. Do you think that would have made his team better or worse?
It wouldn't have helped him because he needs, he's got more spots that need filling, right? So it's not in his interest to trade.
It's probably in a worse spot He'd still be starting Stroud, and Williams and Bijan have been, 6 points difference a game or something. So it's probably not fundamentally of crucial importance. I'm happy I didn't do it.
Anyway, this team is in real strife at 2-6, and not a lot to get excited about. All right, let's hit this one. As I alluded to, a bit of a quiet week. Well, there was a lot of transactions, but not a lot of money being spent, which was surprising.
You spent some money.
Yeah,
you're balling out.
Surprising given the number of high-profile injuries that there wasn't a little bit more cash splashed around. So not a huge amount to talk about here, but we'll cover off a couple of transactions here. Thank God Tex put a bid in on Darren Waller and it ended up being the guy that overpaid by $88. Little bit surprised that there wasn't a little bit more interest in a tight end premium league in this guy that came in and made it. Number one is a proven commodity, made an immediate impact, and has less competition for targets now with your mate Tyreek.
Sure, but he only had 4 catches or 2 catches on 4 targets. Now they're both touchdowns, which is obviously great.
That's kind of how tight ends make their living, though, right?
And look, what's his name was pretty critical for the Dolphins last year that the guy they traded off. What's his name? I forgot. He got a lot of catches and a lot of touchdowns last year. So very much likely, but this assumes you have some faith that the Dolphins are any fucking good, and they're not. Be careful.
I did, like, I sent Father Tex a news clipping from Tua, a quote from Tua after the game, talking about like thanking God for protecting us during the game. And the top comment was, God protected us, but he sent a message to Tyreek Hill. Further proof that Tua has 7 different types of CTE, shouldn't be allowed to play football anymore.
Oh yes, but he also just fucking hates Tyreek Hill. I don't think they're friends at all.
Oh well, maybe this could be the thing that revitalizes the offense: the absence of the toxic presence of Tyreek Hill.
It could be.
I'm willing to bet $88 fake dollars to find out.
Who was your tight end before this?
I haven't had one all season.
Oh, I think that's a smart move. Then I think that's good. And you also need to plug some gaps this week against me.
Oh, boy, do I ever! All right. The other transaction here, I don't know if Tyson has some inside mail on Peter Gabriel.
He's starting this week.
The rest of I know that he's starting this week, but he's like the 45th starting quarterback the Cleveland Browns have had in the last decade, right? And not really sure what to expect, if anything. I mean, he does have obviously Quishon Judkins, who's having a really good breakout year at receiver. But I'm not convinced that Flacco was actually the problem there in Cleveland. But yeah, Tyson has misread the market and the league's level of interest in Dylan Peter Gabriel, and has thrown down yet more cash. He was also a big spender last week, so he's another one who's not gonna die wondering with a wallet full of fake fantasy money. He's gonna spend it all early and see what it gets him. So all the best.
He's a bit exposed at quarterback, isn't he? He only had 2 to begin the season, I believe, or
okay.
So I think that this is a pretty critical move for him to shore up perhaps some bye weeks. Look, if this guy's good, he's locked in for the rest of the year, right? If he's bad, then maybe we start seeing Sanders later in the year. I don't know.
Well, we'll find out. Anyway, that was the extent of the waiver news. There was also about 15 very cheap and not that remarkable pickups.
I was pleased I got Darius Slayton for $0 because you bid $22 on him.
I did. I did in case I didn't get.
Yeah. So I think there's value.
Old mate Waller
Like, look, he's been hit and miss over his career, but Dart's got to throw the ball to somebody.
I think there's a lot of it's the idea of having a piece of that revitalized Jackson Dart offense is pretty compelling, right? And I don't think as a player, I don't think, and as a receiver, I don't think he's that good.
I agree.
But if he's out there and if the offense is humming, he's going to catch some. He's going to catch some passes. So
for me, it was somewhat of a plug and play because I need us to fill the Drake London spot this week against you, and I don't feel very particularly confident about Keon Coleman, and the Giants have New Orleans, so I just felt it was better for a matchup for me this week.
I mean, if I was you, I wouldn't expend too many resources on filling your lineup this week. I think 80 points might get it done. Neither of our teams is looking particularly strong.
Well, I'm missing Drake London and Bijan Robinson, and Bijan particularly the cornerstone of my team.
All right, let's do the belt matchup.
Yeah, every year, there's one text. Allen has to throw to someone every year. No Bills receiver is worth owning. It's so true. Coleman, Shakir, they're all shit. You don't want these people. There's a cavalcade of 3 tight ends that rotate being good throughout the year. You can't own anyone in that offense except for Cook and Allen.
Truth. All right, you got a sound drop for this?
I do. That really long one.
It's really long, yeah. Everyone's settle in.
While getting into it, the belt has changed hands. I haven't checked the stats. The Tex has had that belt for a long time. So
yeah, I couldn't figure out a way to go back and see how many games he won.
I can check it out. You talk about this last time.
Someone tell the sound guy that sound drop is about 15 seconds too long.
Yeah, it's fun. We'll talk.
Yeah, I don't know how to check.
I've got
how many games in a row. Maybe Tex himself knows how long his win streak was, but it is over.
I've got the stats. Actually, I don't have them. I need to work out what week he took it last year.
Well, he must. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about this matchup while you figure that out.
Yeah.
So yes, the belt has passed figuratively to Handsome Andy, and I don't know. Handsome Andy once again came to draft night with debuting a bit of a new look. I was getting Gavin Rossdale vibes from him with the hair, so that's what I've gone with here. Gavin Rossdale, frontman of iconic 90s band Bush.
I think he's most known for being Gwen Stefani's husband.
It depends what circles you moved in, I suppose.
Well, or for cheating on Gwen Stefani with the nanny, which seems a little bit.
It's like Travis Kelce, and in some circles, is best known for being Taylor Swift's fiance, but to football fans,
he's saying Gwen Stefani's a much more successful musician than a guy that had one album. Literally one album. Apparently, it was a disruptive point in their marriage too, because he felt a bit inferior. There were 3 good songs on that album, and they were great.
Handsome Andy, 7-1, really dominant start to the year. Probably his strongest start that I can remember in the league. He's flying high. Mentioned earlier the Chargers offense. Justin Herbert is a pretty good piece to have. I also mentioned Quishon Judkins. No reason to believe that he won't continue to be good and possibly even better under the helm of Peter Gabriel. Bucky Irving, the team's unofficial mascot, has been lighting it up. Tampa Bay, another offense that's been super duper productive. So I real common theme here is that he's kind of he's lucked or tapped into really powerhouse offenses. Like Nakua and the Rams. Nakua is looking like maybe the #1 receiver in football at this point. Jackson Dart, who ordinarily I don't think he'd be starting, but obviously he's got Lamar out injured, so you could do much worse than Jackson Dart, another offense that is on the ascendance, right? So team's looking really strong. And I think he should have every reason to believe that he can start to put together a bit of a run and maybe keep a hold of the belt over there at Handsome HQ. What do you reckon, Chris?
I reckon you should do more Chat GPT images for League Mates because I'm loving this cash converters.
Oh yeah, we'll get to Kurt in a minute. This is obviously Kurt down at Cashy's trying to flog off some of his rings in order to buy a startable wide receiver.
Andy's team is excellent. I think he'll be.
Yeah.
Andy has good years and bad years. This one's a good year. And sometimes he has both. Like last year, where we thought he won the Ringo, but he actually was in the playoffs. So then when he has a good year, we think it's bad. I have done the belt. I've checked the belt. So Tex has only picked it up in the last round of the season last year.
Okay, that's right. Yeah. So no record broken.
So, but he did hold it for the first 4. So he obviously held it for playoffs last year, and then into the first 4 weeks of last year, and then lost in week 5. And again, he's obviously held it for playoffs, and then has held it for the first 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Yes, yeah. And then lost. So exactly the same thing has happened. So by all accounts, he will win the season again. He has held the belt longer than anyone else by quite a margin now. 30, 1, 2, 3, like roughly 40 weeks. And the next best is 26, which is hilarious because he hates having the belt.
Well, it's obviously become a bit of a fixture over there at the chapel.
Maybe is it their holy worship? They have the belt there as like a religious artifact.
Maybe surrounded by some incense candles and some photos of Thamos.
In the ancient Christian church, it was common for a church to have some relics, say the bones of a saint or someone that was religiously important, and people would make pilgrimages to these churches to see these special artifacts. And I think that that's what's going on in his church with our belt.
Anyway, this slide is not about text. This slide is about Handsome Andy and how badly he's going to curb stomp poor old sad Kurt this week.
If you could deliver it to Andy, though, that would be great. But next week's cool too because Andy ain't losing this match. This week or next week. Deliver it when it suits.
Kurt hadn't taken names out of his lineup at the time that I did this screenshot, but I'm assuming he'll probably go back to the well with old mate from the Chargers who hasn't been any good, Lad McConkey. So yeah, bad options across the board. He's been I think he's one more mediocre week away from being officially called a bust at this point. He was very highly touted. Not much here to get excited about, apart from the fact that Jameer Gibbs has a very attractive matchup against the hopeless Cincinnati Bengals.
So hopeless.
So maybe another big 25, 30-point game coming there, but that might be all you can hope for. So that, my friend, is the end of the pre-prepared content. Did you have anything else you wanted to cover off this show?
No, the season's, I think, really reached an interesting point. I felt like in week 3 that, there was clearly like the haves and the have-nots. And it just feels like with this week 4, with the way the results went, it's really changed the game. We've seen Jared's team, my team, we were both in the bottom 6. We're moving up. Jono's team's moving down. Kurt's team's moving down. You had a bad week. I feel that I feel the bottom 2 are sort of the bottom 2. I can't see Stu and MB2 building up too much from where they are. And I think Tyson and Handsome Andy are pretty solid. Like, obviously, there's still a lot of season to go, and injuries can hit. But injuries aside, based on the teams, I think Handsome Andy and Tyson are pretty set. But I think then there's going to be a big group of us competing for those 4 spots. Maybe Jono and Kurt are going to fall out of that, but I still think there'll be a good group of 6 or so competing for those 4 spots.
I don't want to defend my team because it's not that good, but we scored 120 points. So if you consider that a bad week, then your standards are very high.
Well, when I think you need to score that to win. I think that's sort of like the base level, right? 120.
It's at worst an average week.
Yeah. I think we should put our hat out for the coin, who put up 150 points this week and still lost to me, which is a pretty for the Justice
Tell you what,
Bowl.
well, there was a hot minute where late in the Monday night games where I thought, oh, there's actually half a chance here. Like he was coming hard for the victory.
He needed Fields and Brown to both be have very good games, and Brown just didn't. That offense is just so fucked. So, but Fields was very strong. But yeah, that 150 points in a loss is absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal.
It's also like the most coined thing of all time. So very on brand.
But the Justice Ball comes back to me. I think if we look in the history, Jimmy has only held the Justice Bowl on one solitary occasion. So it's been a long time running, and it comes home, which is very happy. I look forward to the MB Bowl, which I don't know if you've ever won, or is it just you've never been delivered the trophy?
Well, we played it a few weeks ago, mate. I don't know if you recall.
Oh, did you win? We didn't even talk about this.
No, well, it wasn't that exciting. Just having a look. Yeah, I did win, but
well, you need to be delivered the MB Bowl.
Well, I didn't get it the last 3 times I won. Why would I expect it this time?
I don't think you'd ever won it. I guess you have.
I've won it.
Well, we need to get you that trophy. It's a really cool trophy. I don't think you've ever held it in your possession.
No.
Well, that's it for this week. We will be back in a fortnight to discuss weeks 5 and 6.
Are we going to get this quiz night at any point, mate? Is that going to happen?
Well, I'm going to be away for a while, so.
A while? What's a while? What are you going away for? Like a month?
We'll go on holiday, and then also I'm at sort of a work conference the week after. But I can do the show from there.
Some big fucking lawyer stuff, mate.
Fancy times.
Yeah.
All right. We will see you when we see you.
Good luck, everybody.